many people are now beginning to talk about the Colombo International Port City Economic Commission bill that is now available for people to look at. So there are people who are analyzing it, there are people who are organizing workshops and discussions around it. This is an important and interesting subject. And I would begin by saying that I am in support of having a expedited or exceptional circumstances, a term that is also used in the bill, the single window concept. I'm in support of it in general. When I look at this, I recall, it gives me almost a sense of deja vu. Even the name gives me a sense of deja vu. Because back in the 1970s, there was an outfit called the Greater Colombo Economic Commission. This was headed by Mr. Upali Vijayawardena. This is the precursor of the current Board of Investment. Almost, you look at it, you get almost a sense that you're reading the old act. So, for example, the master plan, the building approvals, all kinds of things that were developed as an exception to the general way things were done in Sri Lanka for the Katunayaka and then the Biyagama zones are found here for the port city. So what we are doing is we are saying the country, the overall systems in the country are inefficient, are clumsy, are problematic, and therefore we are going to create an exception in the port city. The difference being, earlier it was for manufacturing, here it's going to be for banking, service industries, entertainment, hotels, and also gaming, which means casinos. Now, unusually the bill also refers to, as an object of the commission, one of the main objectives of the commission is to raise the indicators in terms of the doing business indicator. Now, the way I know it, doing business indicators are not done for zones, they are done for the country. So, we'll have to figure out some method of applying this is done by the World Bank, the ease of doing business indicator for the zone, but leave that aside. The general idea of having single windows was first talked about in the BOI. The whole idea was that people were being run from pillar to post, and because of that, because of the delays, people were being asked for various payments, corruption, delays, frustration, all kinds of things were happening because of the normal way that our government works. So therefore, the whole idea was that there would be a single window. You just go deal with well-paid people in plush offices at the Greater Colombo Economic Commission, and now with the Colombo International Port City Economic Commission, and they will satisfy all your requirements. You don't have to go anywhere else. Single window. Now, this is not a bad idea, but I would say that, and I would even say it's necessary given the situation that we are in, but I would also say that we shouldn't really think of this as a long-term solution. We should really think of it as a short-term holding action, and the government should be putting absolutely all of its efforts to improve the performance of the courts, improve all the other approvals, the visa approvals, the work permits, various other things should be improved so that there is no need to make an exception. When you go to Singapore, when you go to Hong Kong, when you go to any of these advanced countries, they don't have one set of rules here meant for foreign investors and another set of rules there meant for the local people. They don't have, separate lines, separate queues. Now here, that language is there in itself. So there is something called the International Commercial Arbitration Center that is going to be set up here, and most of the contracts here will have to be referred to that. I think it will be required that they be referred to that. It's a mandatory. Why? Because I think our Justice Minister himself is on record as saying that the time to get a commercial contract enforced in this country is 1,318 days on average. That is 3.5 years. So that doesn't work. So they are saying that doesn't work. So we are going to create an alternative path, a fast track inside the port city. They go further. In case they have to interact with the local legal system, they say these cases have to be given priority. They have to be given special treatment. Now we are talking about the real fast track. So that inside our court system also there will be the ordinary cases that are going to take on average 1,318 days. And now we have the other people, the Prados overtaking us and cutting the line and getting ahead of us. So that means that our 1,318 days is going to be even longer because these people are now jumping the queue. So this is not a very productive path to go. So the government needs to think about it. And I think Mr. Ali Sabri, our Justice Minister, has made a very good start on talking to the legal profession, talking to everybody, putting resources, getting people lined up to improve the legal system, and I think everybody should support that. Now, let's go back to the example of the Greater Colombo Economic Commission and the lessons that we learned. One of the things that we learned from the Greater Colombo Economic Commission experience was that originally we said it's only in this particular area, between these four boundaries, those are the only people who are going to get the tax breaks. But then, for various reasons, there's a piece here and the rubber is somewhere else and something else is somewhere else. So they put another factory there, and that factory is also going to get the tax breaks. And then the rules were relaxed some more, and all kinds of people, some people were getting, at one point, I can remember even massage parlors were getting tax breaks under BOI. Now the problem is that in the old days, there were restrictions on whether they could sell into the Sri Lankan market. Now that got relaxed too. So now we had a situation where a Sri Lankan entrepreneur is in some cases competing with people who have BOI privileges. A Sri Lankan entrepreneur who doesn't have BOI status or Greater Colombo Economic Commission status, who is building up his own business, he finds that his competitor is paying lower taxes, is getting facilitated work permits, is getting all kinds of advantages that he is not entitled to. So that became a serious problem, and I was happy that the government decided about 5-6 years ago that they were not going to go on this tax break situation. They were going to simply tell these companies, we will give you a stable tax environment, we will give you stability in the policy setting, but we are not going to give you tax breaks, because people don't decide on where to invest based on tax breaks. But unfortunately, the tax break crowd seems to have won, and they're going to be giving tax breaks in the International Port City Economic Commission as well, which is going to be another problem. The issue is that with these tax breaks, the government is going to lose revenue. The issue is that people working in these recognized companies can be paid in foreign currency and they are exempt from income tax. Now, what does that mean? That means that the government of Sri Lanka is not going to get revenue that it needs in order to provide the services that it must provide to a middle income country. So these two aspects, the length of the exception and the whole idea of tax breaks and exceptions being made permanent, 40 years is mentioned in one or two places in the Act, need to be, I think, carefully thought about with regard to the International Port City Economic Commission.